Today, you're getting an inside look at some incredible homes for sale in America's finest city. So let's find your perfect home. I'm Claire McKee. Welcome to On the Block. Please help me welcome my next guest, David Haghighi. He's a broker, and normally I'd tell you exactly what brokerage he's with, but I think we have a little announcement to make, don't we?
Yeah, there's a lot of change in my life. Those who know me and follow me know that I've been through a few different changes recently. I'm currently an independent broker, but about a couple months ago, 60 days to be exact, I signed with a venture-backed group from San Francisco who's building me my own brand.
Oh, really?
It's really exciting because they are on the cutting edge of everything technology-wise, and they chose me. I love that part of it.
Congratulations, first off, that's major.
Yeah, it's pretty big. They've spent now about 6 weeks building my brand.
Like pinch you, right? Like, were you just having a moment? Like, really?
Well, it's interesting because, you know, I was a RE/MAX broker for many years, and I've been independent for a few months, but honestly, over the last year or so, I've realized a lot more. I think I've honed into what consumers want, and I think a lot of the reasons why consumers go to big brands like Keller, RE/MAX, Coldwell, Compass is because they want accountability. They want an agent to answer to a bigger entity.
Sure.
And I think that that's kind of going away. I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding. So consumers think that maybe RE/MAX has a stake in all RE/MAX offices, when in all honesty, they're all independently owned. So how much leverage the owner of that office really has could be nominal. You know, if there's an issue with the transaction, you're not going to go to RE/MAX, you're going to go to the owner of that office, and how much they can help you, it's kind of questionable.
Fingers crossed, right?
Exactly, and I think that that is something that consumers don't quite understand, the franchising versus the big ones. Like Coldwell Banker is mostly owned by NRT.
Sure.
People don't really know.
Well, and you just see that big name and you're like, oh, well, I can trust it, right?
It's a brand thing. So people like brand, but I also think that people want accountability and they want one point of contact, right? So as you've probably noticed, most really successful independent brokers, I should say agents, because some of them are not licensed brokers, but eventually they do usually venture off on their own.
Right.
And I think that's because brand is great. Maybe it can start a conversation for you, but in this industry, it's all about who you are. It's all about you.
Maybe it's the training wheels to get you started, but once you've developed your own flow and how you want to do things, then you're like, what's next, right?
I've seen a lot in the last year. Honestly, a lot of it comes down to, maybe the word would be greed, especially with sellers and elevating prices, and then sellers behaving in a way that maybe isn't so great, and then conflicts arise and it becomes, hey, who's the agent, who's the broker behind it? And you know, the old adage, the buck stops here.
Yeah.
So really those disgruntled parties want to know, how do they get to somebody who's not concerned with profit, who's actually going to help them with their customer service experience?
What a great question.
I mean, it's so it's so subjective. There's so many different ways it can go. I think that the big wigs, meaning Compass, Berkshire Hathaway, Coldwell Banker, really the trifecta, and now actually in San Diego we have First Team, which I go way back with them. I can tell you my experience with First Team is great. They're an entity that owns every single office. It's not a franchise model, so it's one of the very few where you can go to management and know that you're going to have your issues addressed, right? So I have ventured off into this realm of independent brokering, knowing that I don't think that the future of real estate is these big entities.
The way we've always been doing it, it's changing.
I think that the consumer's smarter than they've ever been. And this is the other thing, is you got to give the consumer, and even more so the buyer, credit.
Yeah.
Because there's data out there. They're studying.
More educated than ever.
More knowledge than most people. I mean, the internet gives them the ability to gain the knowledge that maybe the average consumer wouldn't. So I try to give everybody maximum credit, and I think that it really needs to be one person.
Okay.
The buck needs to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
And
someone who's actually going to be accountable to you.
That's right. You know, my business is referral based. The only reason I've had the success I've had in my now almost 18 years in this business is because I really do my best to make sure everybody's happy.
Right.
And it's really hard sometimes, but I don't think that these big corporate models have the same level of success that I do on a micro level.
Right. Right.
So
boots to the ground, right?
My new brand, my new company is Spark Real Estate.
Okay.
So you have the cat out of the bag.
The cat is out.
I'm releasing the cat.
Yes.
We will have all of our collateral and branding and logos and everything out by the end of this month.
Okay.
And it is going to be pretty heavy because we have a very clear mission to empower as many families as we possibly can. And when we say empower, we want people leveling up. We want folks to feel that rising home prices are in their favor, not against them.
We're changing the narrative.
I mean, it really should be, right? Because you're either riding the wave or you're getting smashed down by it. The only people I hear complaining about affordability are renters.
That's right.
Because if you're
That's so true.
vested into home ownership, you want prices going up.
That's right.
And in San Diego market, like this climate is insane.
Ooh,
Like this spring market hit about a month earlier than we thought it would.
yeah,
Hello.
plus interest rates to just put the cherry on top.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people jumping off of the fence right now. And that means either they're moving up, or in some cases, I work with a lot of empty nesters, so they're trying to get into that single-story home
Moving
and
down.
get rid of this big house.
Yep.
And I think that we're seeing just uncharted waters. A lot of stuff that nobody can predict because the recipe hasn't been this recipe that we have right now.
Making a new one.
I mean, look at the beautiful weather, look at the strong economy, look at the jobs. I've heard this statistic more than once. San Diego has more jobs than people.
That's a weird one. You're like, huh?
So then how is it that housing should be so affordable? And then when you talk about, the differential between supply and demand, like we don't have enough homes to house all the people that are coming here for all the jobs, and you want there to be an oversupply?
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So we've seen it happen in markets like San Francisco, and it really is a big part of why why I'm so convicted about this joint venture partnership with these investors. And usually realtors say, I'm partnering with investors. I'm going to go help them buy a flip and they're going to flip a house. Like, no.
Right.
These investors are partnering with me to help me empower more families in my business.
To launch an entirely new way of really doing real estate.
It's the kind of investors I want, not the people who are going to lowball a junk house and then try and flip it and not make a profit.
These are visionaries. That's
they
the
really
difference.
are. And when they brought me into their operation and they showed me what they're doing and they introduced me to 60 or 70 engineers who are working on technology to support me front to back, and how they're helping me connect with more people in ways that are more genuine and less email blasty.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It's just the name of the game. I really think it's the same kind of concept that gets most agents to move towards Compass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they want to be cutting edge, they want to have tools, but they also want to be a real person, and they want to have a company behind them that supports them and has a back end.
No doubt. Well, David, we're so excited for you. Thank you for
I
sharing
can't wait to tell
this.
more. And actually, next time you see me, I'll give you everything.
Awesome.
You'll have it all.
I'm looking forward to all of it.
It's gonna be exciting.
And where can we follow along as all of this continues?
Follow me on my Facebook or my Instagram in that order, because I'm a little old, sprouting gray hairs. So, I'm a Facebook guy.
Facebook first,
I
then
love
Instagram.
All my Instagram posts get pushed to my Facebook, but most of the conversation, the engagement that I have is on my Facebook.
Cool.
I find that that's my demographic more so than the Instagram demographic.
Well,
I probably should update that, and I'm sure I'm going to be pushed in that direction with Spark Real Estate. But we got a couple of mottos coming out. We're empowering families, but we're also sparking change. So that's kind of
I love that.
The narrative.
Sparking change with the Spark Group, huh?
Sparking change.
Very
Spark
cool.
Real Estate.
Spark Real Estate. David, thank you so much.
Always
it was great
a pleasure,
to see you.
yeah.
Take care. Do you have a home that you'd like to feature on the block? Go to modernmedianetwork.com to submit your next listing. Who knows, you might just see us on the block.